Tonight, just like every night before it, you are going to vanish. You will lie down, pull a blanket over your shoulders, and close your eyes. Within minutes, your awareness of the physical world will begin to unravel. The room around you will dissolve. Your thoughts will lose their logical anchor, and your consciousness, the very thing that makes you you, will slip away into the dark. For the next 7 to 8 hours, you will be functionally paralyzed. Your family, your ambitions, your anxieties, and your memories will cease to exist in your active mind. You will enter a state so close to death that ancient Greek mythology personified sleep and death, hypnos and thanatos, as twin brothers. If you live to be 80 years old, you will spend nearly 27 of those years completely unconscious. Think about that. More than a quarter of your entire existence on this planet will be spent in a silent, unresponsive void. From an evolutionary standpoint, sleep looks like a catastrophic mistake. While you sleep, you cannot gather food, you cannot defend your territory, you cannot reproduce, and you are entirely vulnerable to predators. If sleep didn't serve an absolute life or death function, it would be the biggest design flaw in the history of nature. Yet every animal sleeps, from the massive blue whale to the microscopic fruit fly. So what is the trade-off? What happens during those hours when you are seemingly gone? Where exactly do you go when you sleep? When you fall asleep, your brain doesn't just switch off. In fact, some parts of your brain are up to 30% more active while you sleep than when you are awake. Your brain doesn't die down. It changes its radio frequency. Your night is divided into a highly orchestrated 90-minute cycle that repeats 4 to 5 times. It's a journey down into the deep and a return to the surface. It begins with non-REM stage 1, a fragile bridge between consciousness and the void. Here, you might experience hypnagogic jerks, that sudden, terrifying sensation of falling that snaps you awake. Your brain waves are slowing down from fast, chaotic beta waves into gentler alpha and theta rhythms. Within minutes, you slide into stage 2. Your body temperature drops, your heart rate slows, and your brain begins to emit sudden, rapid bursts of rhythmic activity called sleep spindles. These spindles are the brain's internal filing system, locking out external noise so the real work can begin. Then you reach the bedrock, stages 3 and 4, also known as deep, slow-wave sleep. This is the closest a healthy human brain ever gets to a coma. Your brainwaves stretch out into massive, highly synchronized electrical surges called delta waves. If you've ever tried to wake someone up during this stage, you know they are heavy, disoriented, and completely lost to the world. Why does the brain do this? Because during deep sleep, your body goes into physical overhaul. Your pituitary gland floods your bloodstream with growth hormone, repairing tissues, growing bone, and rebuilding your immune system. But it's what happens inside the architecture of your mind during this deep state that is truly revolutionary. While you are awake, thinking, stressing, and navigating life, your brain is burning massive amounts of energy. Like any engine, this metabolic activity creates waste, specifically toxic proteins like amyloid beta and tau, the very proteins heavily linked to Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. During the day, your brain has no effective way to take out the trash. It's too busy processing the world. But when you slip into deep, slow-wave sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your brain cells literally shrink by up to 60%. This shrinkage opens up the spaces between your neurons, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to rush through your brain like a high-pressure dishwasher. Scientists call this the glymphatic system. It is a literal biological cleaning cycle. When you deprive yourself of sleep, you aren't just feeling tired, you are choosing to leave toxic waste accumulating in your skull.
Pulling an all-nighter or chronically sleeping only 4 to 5 hours a night leaves your brain swimming in its own metabolic debris. Over time, this buildup destroys neural connections, degrades your focus, shatters your emotional regulation, and significantly accelerates the onset of dementia. Your brain needs you to disappear so it can clean up the mess you made while you were awake. But the journey isn't a one-way trip into a silent void. Every 90 minutes, your brain climbs back up the stairs of sleep, bypassed stage 1, and erupts into a state of chaotic brilliance. Welcome to REM sleep. During REM, your eyes dart furiously behind your lids, your heart rate spikes, your breathing becomes erratic. Your muscles are completely paralyzed by a chemical switch in your brainstem to prevent you from physically acting out your thoughts. You have entered the dream world. In REM sleep, your amygdala, the brain's emotional epicenter, is wildly active, firing without the logical constraints of the prefrontal cortex, which is largely shut down. This is why dreams feel intensely real, deeply emotional, and completely bizarre. But dreaming isn't just random entertainment for an unconscious mind. REM sleep is the forge of human memory and creativity. Every single conversation, skill, or emotion you experience today is currently sitting in a temporary holding zone called the hippocampus. If left there, it will overwrite and fade. During REM sleep, your brain plays back the tape of your day at hyperspeed. It extracts the core lessons, strips away the useless noise, and transfers the valuable data to the cortex, converting short-term experiences into permanent, lifelong memories. More than that, it cross-references new memories with old ones. It connects things that seem entirely unrelated. This is why you can go to bed struggling with a complex problem and wake up with the solution clearly formed in your mind. We don't say, "I'll sleep on it" because it sounds good. We say it because REM sleep is a biological problem-solving machine. We live in a culture that treats sleep like a luxury, or worse, a sign of weakness. We praise the hustle, boast about working on 4 hours of rest, and use caffeine to force our brains out of their natural cycles. But the bill always comes due. When you systematically cheat your sleep, you alter your genetic expression. Studies show that a single week of sleeping less than 6 hours a night distorts the activity of over 700 genes, including those responsible for managing inflammation, immune response, tumor suppression, and cardiovascular health. Your risk of heart attack spikes. Your testosterone drops to that of someone 10 years older. Your natural killer cells, the Army frontline defense against cancer, plummet by up to 70% after just one night of 4 hours of sleep. Sleep is not a currency you can save up on weekdays and pay back on weekends. It is a strict daily biological requirement. Every morning when you wake up, you experience a quiet miracle. Your consciousness snaps back into focus. The room reassembles itself. Your name, your memories, your worries, and your identity return to you in a fraction of a second. You survived the night. Your brain has been washed, your memories have been sorted, and your body has been repaired. You have literally returned from a temporary state of oblivion. So where do you go when you sleep? You go back to the workshop, back to the hidden laboratory where your mind preserves your past, constructs your sanity, and prepares you to face the waking world for another day. Appreciate the dark. Protect your rest. Because tomorrow depends entirely on the place you go tonight. And as you drift off, is anyone watching?